Hey guys, welcome to another session of Epic 7. This is the last part for my little mini-series Rise to Champion, part 4. If you have been on the entire journey with me via YouTube, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the ride. And these fights that you're about to see do encompass some of my most difficult fights. I'll commentate on them as usual for these last ones as well. But you'll see my biggest weakness. You'll see some very close fights. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. So enjoy the fights, guys. So in this fight, the telltale sign that Kayron is banned. Again, I've been taught that generally it means a cleave, because Kayron is good, but he's not like RB. So yes, immediately he starts drafting cleave. Again, at the point of this commentary now, I know. At that point, I really didn't. I thought it was just a bad ban, but honestly, I should really start learning these things, like, you know, what they ban. So what do they struggle with? Like, what kind of team comp they struggle with, and therefore they're making those banning choices. So yeah, I was already struggling here. You can tell. I have to widen my roster versus counter cleave, or rather versus cleave, where I'm counter cleaving. I need to widen my roster a bit. He did a really good job there. He stole the Assassin Sid from me as well, because if I was gonna contend for speed, I would be using Assassin Sid, or he would be one of my choices. You guys will see something pretty Papega. I believe it is in this fight, but I'll let you guys see it. So here I try to contend for speed with my Firelytica. Firelytica compared to Assassin Sid, at least in my build, would not be as strong to deal with cleave, since like if you push back the CR booster, you're still left with like very little damage, and there's no way she would outlap the DPS. So realistically, they could kill her off pretty quick. So you can tell I am struggling here. I think I actually make a misplay here. Like, I didn't even know what I was gonna select, so I randomly chose someone. It automatically chose my Vivian. So yeah, I was really struggling. I think this is probably my weakest point. At the point of this fight, it's my weakest. I've been building some heroes just to widen my roster, because I do run into people like this. Especially, it's not just the like picking cleave. It's more of like they have the ability to also steal as well. If they steal Kayron, if they steal RB, which they are also pretty good counter cleave heroes, if they steal those, it works in their cleave comp as well. So cleavers who are really fluent with like drafting their cleave team, they're really nasty to deal with sometimes. I looked at the roster there, and honestly, the only way I can win this is ban Athletica. Anything else, any other combination, I don't think I got it with my roster. Of course, it was obviously he would not ban DN. DN's kind of a sitting duck in a speed comp like this. He banned the FCC, which is the exact one that he should. So my Lytica is fast. I'm very confident in her speed. Very little amount of heroes will be able to beat that speed.
Now's my time to shine.
And this is the Papega moment. I had my Celine not molded at all. Otherwise, I think I could have won. So, well, I'll put it this way. Even if I did have her molded, if she didn't attack JKC, I would have lost anyway. So there's that. But it's more of like I had Celine built on some Papega gear, and then yeah, that happened. That made me really pissed, actually, because Like I was expecting the loss, but for Celine to actually make the exact hit, the 1 out of 4 chance to hit the right target, and that could have been the win condition, I immediately molded Celine after that fight. Obviously that was cut from the video. Raz lol. Yeah, that was Pepega. It was I had just finished, like, I think making a level 60 at the point. Like, people who know this sequence of banners and actually remember that kind of stuff, they should know that, I think they would know that Celine's banner was like pretty new during the closing of Showdown season. So I had literally not invested Mola in her because I was waiting for my Remnant Violet, which I was pulling for at the time. Like, I was still waiting for Guild War Mystics and stuff. No excuses. I mean, I should have been better prepared, but you saw me struggle, so. This one, I knew that he wasn't going to cleave. At least I thought he wasn't, but he was just banning RB because I guess he was just worried that that if I got first pick and I picked RB, he would have been set to a worse condition. But luckily he didn't ban Kayron, so obviously he doesn't know me because obviously I don't have RB. But otherwise he was setting up for cleave. You can see that right away. So in this case, because this is the second fight, right after the first cleave death, so I was contesting for the right heroes right away. So you saw me drop the acid right away. The RB ban, pre-ban, made me think that he might go Bruiser anyway, so that's why I still chose first pick DN. If it was a Kayron ban, I would be more confident that they're going cleave, as opposed to an RB ban. Again, at this point, this is pushing up to, people are pushing in the last hours of the season, so even if I meet a challenger, it didn't mean that they're bad players. At this point, like, you know, they're pushing up, so you can have highly skilled players still pushing challenger, pushing upwards. So I wasn't especially after losing that first cleave comp, I wasn't letting my guard down. He saw that I had no immunity buffer and he wanted to take advantage of this. That's a smart play. That's a very smart play. No immunity buffer, so like if I ban the wrong one, either I get out damaged or I get CC'd to death, and that was his plan. It's a very, very smart plan. Again, because I had the Celine and I knew I could outspeed, so in this case, outspeed is Oxalot, so in this case I banned Cerise instead. I could not risk the strip on my Kayron or any of my guys with immunity, but to carry Kayron mainly. So yeah, in this case, I'm like, okay, you have to take out Assassin Kali. Assassin Kali could deal some worrisome things here, and plus I had Celine, so I may as well let Oxalots go. That was my thinking process for this. He was pretty smart as well. I mean, he wasn't a bad player. The next thing that he chose to do was actually pretty big brain. I didn't really expect him to do it.
Victory is mine.
He did this to break the skill null. Very, very smart on my Lytica, but I don't think he knew my Kayron was on counter. So I would say this. Sometimes I'm watching RTA fights and RTA tournaments, and I like, there's some fights I've seen, like, I wish the person that, you know, I was rooting for would have a counter Kayron. You'll see why in a bit.
I will cut you all down.
This BBK was kind of Pepega. It didn't have crit rate. It didn't kill my Celine. My Celine is not built on high damage. She's literally, at this point, her plan was just to counter Oxalots. That's why I didn't even Mola her. I didn't know that a non-Mola Celine would not be able to kill a J-Kisei on attack buff. I know I still talk about the previous fight, but there's not much to commentate on this one. So while everybody died, Kayron soloed this just because he was on a counter set.
It was never in doubt.
So I got lucky still. I mean, it's still, like, it was a pretty Pepega draft, I think. There's not much I can do. I could do a lot better now with the roster that I'm working on. pre-ban Athletica. Like I don't expect people to know me. I'm not a really big YouTuber or whatever. But yes, he didn't. I don't own an Athletica. I wish though, honestly. I think if I had an Athletica, I think I would start playing with a bit of cleave comps as well, you know, just like to have a variety. You could be flexible with Bruiser, with cleave and stuff, and Athletica honestly can work in a cleave, in a Bruiser comp. Just what she brings to the table, I think is a lot more flexible than Oxlots.
Shall I have a go?
I don't know if this person was lagging, but the first pick Crowder, I'm assuming that he might be a first pick DM player too. But that banned his Ruel and his and took his DN. I think he was like thinking of like what to use. He went with the Crown Alencia, and often you see the Ruel, DN, Crown Alencia combos. So I think he's mainly a Bruiser player. At this point, because he has a lot of sustain, but I didn't really feel like I had to put a lot of damage forth yet. I was thinking if I should go Kayron, but Kayron into Alencia and Crow together may not be the best. So that's why I wanted to feel him out first. Again, my realm has always been Bruiser. Not owning Oxlots since the beginning of the game has really set my mind to not play with cleave. So if you guys watch my Guild War videos and stuff like that, any PvP content, you pretty much see me go sort of like the Bruiser route. Not like out tanking straight, but like more of like playing on elements, elemental advantage and disadvantage. That's kind of my style of play. So when I'm drafting against these kind of comps, I'm more comfortable, and at that point it would just be gear checks. Like we're pretty much even in terms of like I'm not going massive damage, he's not going any massive damage yet either. We're kind of like strategizing, and I like this aspect. I really like this aspect.
Step back, flies.
Yeah, he's going pretty safe. He got the Reviver there, Bruiser, and he got a Charles there. He's going fairly safe. I think out of all my fights, part 1, part 2, part 3 of my little mini series here, this is probably the longest pick and ban phase. We're both feeling each other out, to be honest.
Oh, you want to try me?
The Spectenny was to force his hand to make a decision on something. He saw that. I mean, I could take advantage of him not having enough AOE damage at this point. Because if I banned the Charles, Spectenny would go ham, and he wouldn't have enough damage versus all the ones I've drafted so far. So I kind of forced his hand to try to bring some heavier AOE damage. And I took probably arguably the best green elemental cleaver outside, well, Vivian, I would say, more so than Vildred. Yeah, at this point I saw no threat. I had to get rid of the Momo. He would have to ban Spectenny, and he had to keep the Dizzy, therefore the Momo was banned.
I believe this is what the goddess wills.
punished. Are you confident?
I had to check his speed tuning here because he could get the strip, so therefore I was just debating. I'm like, there's no point, absolutely no point getting the immunity buff right away. I saw the speed of his Charles and it was a speed set Charles to set up for everything else, so I knew that he wouldn't counter, therefore I hit him first. Just put a dent because Charles comes back later with more of a punch.
For King Arthur, I would give my life.
Maybe he was laggy, I don't know, or he's just taking a really long time to think, but...
Shall we go to the land steeped in death? My past regrets.
Yeah, I went straight for this, because at this point I wanted to take as little damage as possible. Once Alencia after attack buff goes, I mean Alencia with attack buff, if built really well like a cleaver, can do a lot of damage, so I just rather not suffer any damage at all at this point.
Enjoy the pain. It'll be the last thing you feel. Let's advance together.
Yeah, actually I remember this fight now. It became a bit tricky. Arguably speaking, I could have just tried to provoke the Robbie as well with my FCC, looking back. High level violin here is very good.
I believe this is what the goddess wills.
Yeah, he knew he couldn't horse me at this point. Everybody had too much HP plus the barrier. So he would have to risk one more turn. But he was blind and he did have a speed down, so he was at a pretty big disadvantage. I was lucky that one did not land, but he did have attack down and blind, so it wasn't too difficult. Got the stun on the Crow as well. This became a race for the kill on the Crow. Good thing my FCC is a DPS. With attack buff, my FCC does a lot of damage.
Death is your repentance.
So I got quite RNG carried on this one for sure. The counter on the Dizzy helped the stun, and it just controlled the team.
I believe this is what the goddess wills. Please save us.
Prepare yourself.
Annoying delusion must be crushed. Shall we go to the land steeped in death? I will guide you through the light.
I think he timed out there. His ML Robbie attacked. I think got the automatically.
Are you prepared for this? I will guide you through the light. My goddess, grant me the power to extinguish the evil.
You're not too strong, so this should be enough.
I believe this is what the goddess wills. My goddess.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure actually if he was just BMing or, but yeah, he's just allowing it to time out. That apparently was a pretty scummy tactic for some players. I think in Legend who were doing that. I heard stories. But the good thing is that his A Robbie was pretty squishy. Yeah, so some people would grief playing by kind of just like waiting on the clock, so like people wouldn't be able to like get the points they needed to get to hit like the legend threshold or something like that. I heard stories about that. I didn't know if he was doing it actually, but now that I look at it, it looked like he was timing out.
Made everyone kneel before me. Are you prepared for this? I'll accept your duel. Let's advance together.
How rude.
There is no salvation for those who fall in battle.
I thought I was.
So this player is doing exactly what I was saying in my fight too. That I think he can be flexible with Bruiser play and also cleaving. Basically, he drafted two very solid Bruiser type DPS, as in they can fit in Bruiser comps. But then he ends up changing his drafting style into a Bruiser. This kind of last minute change into like a cleave comp is very strong. It's very strong because you can make people waste pretty much 1 to 2 heroes that would be not so effective versus one type of fight compared to another. That was a very bad move on my part. I don't know why I went with Mei Chloe. It was a bad move either way. I think this is my first time drafting Mei Chloe in this entire climb. I don't think I drafted her ever again. Yeah, because I was thinking, I'm like, yeah, I only have one way to deal with what I left, which is Athletica. So I think in retrospect, I would have tried to find a way to deal with the Bazaar. But honestly, he had 3 very strong cleavers and 2 strips. So, and he took the Kayron. So the Bazaar would have missed. So it was very good.
Stop chasing me!
I believe this is what the goddess wills. You pitiful beings. Death is your repentance.
How futile.
At this point, I already lost my revive on my Mei Chloe, so it would be way tougher. Like, the question would be like, oh, can you sustain the damage? That was the big question.
I'm getting tired of you.
Bye-bye now.
Are you prepared for this?
Yeah, at this point, it's just like, yeah, you know, what's the point of using the skill null? Because SSB would break it right away.
I'll show you.
His Kayron resisted, but that didn't really matter. At this point, I already knew.
It's too late to back out now.
He did land the defense break on my FCC.
Bugging me. I was going to let you off easy.
There's a Moonlight Dreamblade RB, which in his favor right there, that really benefited because he got the attack buff.
Witness my power.
I will guide you through the light. Please, save us.
Super maid! Chloe's coming! I won't go easy on you.
Shall we go to the land steeped in death?
My past, regrets, and hesitation. I'll sever everything with this.
Let's advance together.
Yeah, and again, he comes to the problem that SSB has her passive
Start with something light.
super strong.
A bloodbath. Delightful agony.
Show your elders some respect. Annoying burden must be crushed.
I believe this is what the goddess wills.
Yeah, at this point, I already knew I lost. No protection on DN, and then Lytica gets her skills back. So yeah, F Lytica is very dangerous.
Here.
Obey. Kneel.
Do I look like a pushover to you?
Let's advance together. My goddess, grant me the power to extinguish the evil.
Here.
That was very lucky on his part, but I think I still would have lost anyway.
Leave me alone. Or regret it.
Away with you.
This is a
I will guide you through the light.
Yeah, his pre-ban on the Bazaar there,
Are
obviously,
you prepared for
he
this?
must, you know, yeah, he must have these here, like May Chloe, FCC, usually pretty weak to allowing your opponent to have Bazaar. He took the Alencia, so I don't get the strip. Not a bad idea, not a bad idea. At least at this point, Bazaar and Alencia are two very primary RTA strippers, but of course there are going to be others. joining the fray soon. At the point of this recording, we have a couple heroes getting dev buffs and then new heroes announced. In terms of the stripping role, dispelling role, we're gonna have quite a bit. Dizzy on Isle of Violin, as I usually have, is good as a pseudo debuffer, which actually is pretty good. Constant AoE debuff and AoE dispel.
Radiant light.
He brought a Destina, but unless you double up on your way to deal with Dizzy, you have to not choose that hero. Like I think he chose a counter to Dizzy too quick. That, I mean, I would make that flaw too sometimes, and
I know I'm beautiful.
but now he chose two things to deal with Dizzy.
Ashes to ashes, dust.
But at this point, I'm just like, okay, if you're gonna keep her in, then I just have to work around your team. But he only gave me two options to ban when it comes to Dizzy, and Violet is not too difficult to take out. The Violet 1-for-1 is a pure, like, really good Dizzy counter, but Violet doesn't do too well to a lot of type of heroes. For example, like Spectenabria. I don't know if I draft her here, but like right now, if I'm looking at this, I would choose Specteni and just be done with it. There you go. So past me thinks like future me or present me. Yes. Like you just work around Violet and you just keep them in. And even if they keep Dizzy in, you can still put them at a disadvantage. Although even though Dizzy can trigger his counter, if Isle of Violin procs on the trigger of his Moonlight Dreamblade, his attack buff actually gets stripped. I believe that's how it works. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I saw this. I'm like, yeah, no, I'll keep the Destina in. And he had to take out the Specteni. The only reason why I keep the Destina in on this one is because Vivian and Kayron together, in terms of like pure output damage, is insanely high. So I wasn't too scared of it. Yes, he had a knight, he had a defense buffer, but I wasn't too scared of this. I think a very, very well built Destina though could cause some problems. So, but I felt that the my ban was the right one.
Can't you handle this? How dare you?
That did surprise me. It was a counter Alencia. Very good. The only problem was that she was not on immunity. Otherwise, I would have really big problems. No immunity on the Violet, no immunity on the Alencia. And I get it, Violet cleanses himself, but honestly, you're still left with some crippling debuff. It's not gonna really help his cause.
How futile your life is. Farewell.
He got the crit off my Vivian.
Everything disappears.
Oh no, it doesn't. It looks like Isle of Violin procs after Moonlight Dreamblade. Or before it. So it doesn't strip it.
Forever wandering.
I got very lucky. I got very lucky on that. He must have thought that too. He's just, wow, so lucky.
My goddess.
I think both sides, luck-wise, it had been pretty even. He got a counter off, his Alencia still hit and crit my Vivian. So in terms of RNG, I think we were even at this point.
I will guide you through the light.
Kayron is still very good into this team. His output damage is quite impressive, especially with Aliha's knife. And the DN ensures that he'll always have an attack buff.
Your torment exceeds
Yeah, counter Alencia. I have seen some people run it. It can throw people off. I think the counter Kayron there also probably threw him off a bit. So whatever he did, he'd get countered except my DN. And Aliha's knife just hits way too hard.
Face of yours into the ground.
Foolish.
He didn't provoke, actually. I just realized, I wonder if he wasn't even max Mola. DN's turn cycling, although yes, it lowers Kayron's damage with his HP healed, but keeping him alive at this point was actually pretty vital.
dust.
This part was very risky. I took a bit of a risk here. I could have one-shot the Alencia to extend the buffs, but I decided to go for the Destina. The immortal buffs, that is. But I thought that, you know, perhaps I could have one-shot her. I'm lucky that the DN did the job there, because once the healer is dead, the team has lost.
You're not too strong, so this should be enough.
Let's advance together. Give me strength.
Close fights. These last fights, honestly, were some of my closest. Of course, I got my first loss streaks as well in these last hours of the tournament, or not tournament, this season.
And never get back on your feet.
Counter came in handy as well.
You really are persistent, aren't you? Ah!
I believe this is what the goddess wills.
Again, I had to keep in mind that this was a counter Alencia, so any counter could have left me with a defense break, but I was pretty confident with some debuffs on. I would still be able to tank even with a defense break. The good thing is that the 2-turn there, it just made me lose my my defense break on this turn. There you go.
Through the light.
Good thing I didn't reapply the defense break,
Grant me the power to extinguish the evil.
but it wouldn't have mattered because I would have cleansed it.
My goddess. I will guide you through the light.
I'll smash that arrogant face of yours into the ground.
I believe this is what the goddess wills. I trust the path laid before us. I will guide you through the light.
Now, bring it on.
If you're ready, let's go.
Stop bugging me.
He did the pre-ban on Dizzy there. Dizzy's definitely a very good safety net, deals with a ton of stuff. Although at this point he really drafted one-sided. I was debating Vivian again. I really like Vivian. She does deal with a lot, but I knew that the counterplay would be Kayron right away. So I was thinking at this point, I'm like, should I steal it first or should I go totally different route? I'll let him choose a couple DPS. And I still had options for DPS, so I didn't really, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do here at this point. As I was hanging on Cowrick, honestly, I was running out of time, but I honestly didn't know what I was doing.
Oh, you want to try me?
Spectenny into SSB was kind of stupid.
There is no salvation for
He
those
took the
who fall
Kayron,
in
so
battle.
double up on the AoE. So that means he was gonna keep the Spectenny, so I had to counterplay right here. But I saw a level, a 5-star Awakened ML Tywin, so I'm like, okay, maybe he's not super prepared. Yeah, I was considering Dark Corvus, but at this point I was still thinking about just how do I outwit his draft with my selection at this point.
I'll win anyway.
I will punish you with this.
Are you ready to order?
This was a fun one, actually. I remember now. This was relatively safe. I was just thinking that yeah, taking out the Kayron was the right way to go. Because realistically, he still take out Spectenny. It's very funny. Oh, actually no, he took it out. Never mind. He took out the only source of what he thought would be the sustaining, which actually is pretty smart too. Never mind. I thought he was gonna take out Spectenny. Dark Corvus drafts are good. Are pretty good. Into some counterplay. To be honest, I think I'm not quite sure what he was holding it for. I think it was just the time so that Dark Corvus's S3 would be wasted. I think that's what he was doing. But when I thought about it, I'm like, there was no reason to hold it because he could take out a huge source of damage with an attack buff on SSB, and I would just be feeding her, and her S2 would just like wipe my entire team. So
Melt away.
I think his MO Chloe play, if I can commentate on it, is probably a mistake. Right, he pushed back my champion Zerato.
I won't go easy on you.
This world's existence no longer has any value. Will you fight?
Yeah, it was a squishy SSB. It was a squishy one.
This is what you get.
But yeah, see, like if he had an attack buff here, he could have risked the RNG, but he would have killed off like a ton of stuff. I think. The Abyssal Crown is on my champion Zerato. I don't go Violin Abyssal Crown because I personally feel like the only time I'm going to use Zerato is if there's no immunity buffer. Or it doesn't look like they're going to draft an immunity buffer. So the stun actually came in handy here, because we did get the stun on ML Tywin with the Spectenny, so he lost his battle command. I believe he also horsed way too early on my champion Zerato. This does affect him later, because my Spectenny would have got a turn anyway, so I could have killed the SSB, which I think was his fear. But at the same time, I know that. So yeah, I think he held the revive off at the wrong time.
Annoying must be crushed.
Actually, I think I know why.
If you wish to fight,
I think he assumed my champion Zerato was on Violin. That makes sense. Never mind. Post-match commentary. No, that makes sense. I think 90% of Champions Zero are built on violin. Just my explanation in case people are interested, but my theory on that honestly is just because
This world's existence no longer
yeah, like I
has
said,
any
if they bring in immunity, you're sort of wasting your turn. You're either holding the debuffs on yourself, which is detrimental to your Champion Zerato, and if you try to strip, you still can't push back the debuffs in time. And you would want to S3 anyway, so you get the defense buff, provided you don't have outside defense buffers. And therefore, I felt that Crown on him is usually the better one to go. This one just jumped into it. I forgot to record the beginning, the drafting phase. Oh, this guy, I remember. Oh, dude. Yo, Gold Hawk. By the way, if you're watching, leave a comment. So Gold Hawk had one of his friends come on one of my premieres. I think part 3 of the RTA, and he was just asking, "Hey, you fought Gold Hawk, right? Like, how was that?" I will say this: this guy's disgustingly good. I definitely underestimated him. He was doing a lot of emotes. I don't know if it was BM or if he was just being playful, but it was definitely quite interesting. I wasn't sure how this team worked, and again, like I said, I'm not gonna spoil it right now. But this team was actually pretty big brain.
I will guide you through the light.
I think he probably wins with a high success actually.
Please save us.
But now Goldhawk is pretty much outed because I'll reveal why. So 20,000 HP on that Apocalypse Ravi. The counter Kairon, man, I really love it. I really love it. I know speed Kairon's the hot stuff, but counter Kairon, man, it could be pretty gross.
Then you're better off dead.
Yeah, ML Heist is good into DN. Come to think about it, especially if you build him as a really high damage, because anti-crit buff doesn't do anything.
I believe this is what the goddess wills.
So at this point, I was like, ooh, okay, I think I'm in trouble already. I wasn't really confident at this point. But he's pretty tanky. ML Haste can dispel. I was holding my S3 on Dizzy.
Let's advance together.
Yeah, and that Ravi still did pretty good damage.
Do I look like a pushover to you?
I believe this is what the goddess wills. You pitiful being.
I'm watching this right now, and I'm actually
Is your repentance.
yeah, it was tricky because the MLCC kept on giving me a barrier
I will guide
to
you
Champ
through the
Zerato
light.
as well.
Give me strength.
Show your elders some respect. You're not strong, so this should be enough.
I didn't crit.
そろそろ帰りませんか？
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it yet,
Let's advance together.
that A-Ravi triple resisted my dizzy. So hopefully that gives you guys a hint of what happened,
This is what the goddess wills.
or what's going to happen.
Do I look like a
It was a tricky one.
Sure.
So no crit on that one as well. My crit's slightly scuffed. But here it was. You guys will see now. The picture will be clear. The picture will be clear versus this Gold Hawk guy. Triple resist. Now at this point, I was like, oh, that's very, very, very bad. Because over time, that was what he was aiming for, just killing off that DN. Because he knew that once my DN is dead, like I would have lost. So yeah, that's pretty tricky. Frenzy had kicked in at this point. 20,000 HP Ravi lost 1,000, so 19,000 at this point. But of course my heroes would also be suffering with that as well. The ML haste is back, and luckily it was ML haste. I think if it was like FCC, I think I would have lost. Because she would have control in terms of the, what do you call it? Provokes. Alencia, man, like Alencia, had to say, does a lot in this fight. Does a lot in this fight. Especially I had no way of debuffing. So you just resist everything, which is just super toxic, super toxic.
Stop bothering me.
He went for the Alencia, which I get it too, because the thing is that the Dizzy would have like lost no matter what. Like I wouldn't be able to do enough damage. She would always out heal. But getting the Mind's Eye on this was like fundamental to the fight. Yeah, the Frenzy stage 5, 18,000 HP. Everybody's losing HP left and right. Mind's Eye kicked in again. Check this out, check this out. So I was looking at the HP, I'm like, okay, defense buff won't do anything at this point. So I have Mind's Eye, I may as well do the S1. This was the breaking moment. So he did not crit. 96 HP left. Woo! Trust me, man. Gold Hawk, good fight. I was sweating. That was probably the hardest fight in terms of like going in, expecting that I would probably win. I don't know how Gold Hawk reacted after that. I mean, he had a lot of emoji spammed. Again, good fight, dude. Good fight. Disgusting ML Ravi. That's my commentary on it. It has to be either on Strat Gauntlet, but he had to have 200 effect resist, like something near that. He probably has a triple S self imprint to get those stats, because he had 20,000 HP, still hit hard. It was on a counter set. It wasn't like, it wasn't super slow, like 130, 140 speed maybe even higher. So it did damage, it had HP. The only thing I think it lacked was defense based on how much damage my Alencia did to it. So I think like maybe 1.1k defense or something, but it had like everything. So I'm assuming triple S self-imprinted, 27% effect resist with a Strat Gauntlet. It's 80, almost 90, and then probably like a resist set with counter and stuff like that, and really good subs. Very crazy, very crazy. Anyways, on to Ray McScriff.
Play with me.
So I thought he was gonna choose Oxlots, but he went with Lilius first.
I'll show you what I've got. I'm all right.
I still went with the Vivian there. At this point, I was planning to ban the Kayron.
For the goddess.
I must be brave.
And ML Rin makes it back again, stealing the invincibility buff if possible, and even the revive buff. So two really crucial debuff or buffers on his team, it was perfect for my ML Rin, but he took it out. This meant realistically one source of damage and almost impossible for Spec Tenny to survive. Like even with the heals, the turn cycling wouldn't be good enough, and no attack buffer for Spec Tenny.
This way.
He did get lucky
Interesting.
on the on that hit there.
Unleash
He got the right dual attack,
power.
but no crit.
Do I look like a pushover to you? You really are persistent, aren't you?
Kiss my feet. I was stuck.
It's too late to back out now.
May the light free you from despair.
Let's advance together. My goddess.
Yeah, so once the defense break was applied to
Ready.
the Tenebria, it was pretty much over.
You'll regret facing me. All is done.
Run before it's too late. I thought this could be fun. Now I'm getting bored.
Spread wings of light.
I think he wanted to stall as well. Now looking back at it, probably another grief play.
How rude.
But the good thing I had sheer damage, so it didn't really matter.
I believe this is what the goddess wills.
Help. Shall we?
Be well.
Now, bring it on.
Can't you handle this?
Stop bugging me.
Let's advance together. My goddess, grant me the power to extinguish the evil. I will guide you through the light. Please, save us.
Very interesting.
Yeah, he was totally grief playing. Man, these players, man, it feels bad.
Show your elders some respect.
It's okay, I had the satisfaction of blowing him up.
I'm all ready. Destruction. Answer my call.
I'll accept your duel.
Yeah, good thing I wasn't pushing to like champion or something like that, or a legend.
The goddess wills.
Are you confident?
Tornado! Just kidding. That's it.
My magic sure was helpful.
That's it, man. The walk to champion. And that is it. Finally reaching champion. I was just like, oh, it was the last 2 hours before the season closed. The Showdown season closed. I was just like, yeah, I'm done. Came at a really busy time in my personal life as well, but that's no excuse. I'm hoping that in the future I will push further in RTA and maybe pump up more RTA content. And as I'm going to end this for the video recording, thank you guys for watching all of that as well. If you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server, follow me on Twitter, subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. I will see you guys next time.